All right, we got 2 people, 3 people. Yeah. Okay. My name is Jacob Franks, and I'm going to be talking about masks and how they're the future of this world. Masks of the future, whether people like it or not, they're going to be around, in my opinion, for the rest of the time. Just like how all these Asian countries are wearing them religiously now, we're going to have to start getting into that trend, whether people like it or not, because it's been a very big dispute as of recent years, as of this recent year with COVID going on, whether people want to wear them or not. And masks are honestly one of the most affordable and easy to wear things that can help prevent diseases. They're easy to obtain, they're easy to make. People make them with cloth, people make them in any other way. Just having that face covering over your face is enough to prevent disease and prevent contraction. And it heavily reduces the chances of even contracting if someone else has it and they're wearing a mask while you're also wearing a mask, which I'll get to more statistics later on in the presentation. But there are multiple cases of people wearing masks and they didn't contract COVID. There was a study done about that. It was on the news about a guy that had COVID on a plane, and he was on a full plane with other people, and this was in the very beginning of when COVID first started, and he had COVID on the plane unknowingly, but he was wearing a mask because he was trying to be protected and protecting himself and everyone else around him, and everyone else on the plane was wearing a mask too. And this is in the very beginning, so this wasn't like the airports weren't shut down or anything, and everything was still going on. And he later found out after flying that he had COVID, so they contacted all the other people on the plane and made sure that they didn't contract COVID, and no one else did. Even there were people sitting right beside him, and because everyone was wearing a mask on the plane, no one contracted COVID except for that guy who had it prior to going on the plane. So that's just one example of how important wearing a mask is. And these are just some percentages of what it looks like for someone wearing a COVID-19 mask compared to someone if you have it and not wearing a mask or wearing a mask. And then if you don't have it and you're next to someone that has COVID. So just like some percentages, like you can see at the bottom, it says a COVID carrier with someone who doesn't have it and they're both wearing masks is like a 1% chance that they can contract it if they're at a safe distance, of course. And that's just some studies. That's just some percentages that show like how important, imperative wearing a mask is and how easy it is to help the prevention of the diseases. And there's a real world example where 16 girls went to a bar in Florida one night, and this was the midst of all the COVID, and they went to a mass and none of them wore masks, and every single one of them contracted COVID after going to the bar. And this took place in Florida, and this is like Florida didn't take it seriously for a long time, so people were going out and getting COVID everywhere and getting diseases. It's how easy it is to contract it if you're not wearing masks. And the amount of deaths, over 100,000 deaths have been from COVID in less than half a year from just the U.S. alone. And there's been more and more deaths in these other countries as well. But there are two prior diseases to this that are basically little brothers of COVID, called SARS and MERS, which were two diseases that were mainly based in Asian countries. They were contracted the same way as COVID is, through the coughing and sneezing and through just airborneness. And that's why Asian countries are such sticklers on wearing masks, that's why they're prepared to wear masks for COVID, because of these already prior diseases that have been floating around. The U.S. has never gotten an opportunity to like have to deal with something this serious, and these Asian countries have already had to deal with something as dangerous as COVID. And other countries who prepared correctly, besides aside from America, is Europe, which has had a steady decline of COVID cases because of their importance of wearing masks and their public health precautions that they've been taking throughout this whole journey of this COVID pandemic. And America has more than double any other country's amount of cases. And honestly, all the other countries almost barely is more than just America alone. And this has become in the US, and this is only in the US, where wearing masks has become a political issue, and where people think that this is like a left or right type of deal, and this is opinionated, and the fact that COVID even exists is opinion, and if Democrats don't think that COVID is real, and then Republicans, it's just whatever. People are acting like this is just like a political debate when it's really a health precaution issue, and that has nothing to do with politics. And these politicians are making people think that COVID is a hoax, and people are not taking it as seriously as it can be. That's why the U.S. has so many cases, because people aren't taking this seriously. Even our President Trump believes that this is an unimportant issue and has made very many tweets and has done many press conferences on the fact that he believes that this isn't that big of a deal and we shouldn't be taking it that seriously. And that's the end of my presentation.